Hello, it's Danny Walsh and thank you for joining me on this presentation. Today we are going to look at ClickFunnels and we are going to build live on this video a funnel. We will make a simple opt-in funnel to capture email addresses and generate leads. I will also show you some of the weird and wonderful funnels that I have running at the moment, and hopefully over the course of an hour or so we will be able to create a clear view in your mind of what a funnel is, why a funnel is beneficial, and how ClickFunnels will serve you at the highest level when it comes to building and developing sales and marketing funnels for your business. So about an hour, please take notes, record the screen if you like. A replay will be made available, so don't worry, and we will get straight into this. So my name is Danny Walsh, as I've said. You will need a ClickFunnels account, SendGrid account for sending emails, an idea, I'm hoping that you've got an idea, right, and access to Facebook and Google, which are pretty much free and everybody's got that stuff anyway. So in order to make a go of ClickFunnels, they are the components that you would require long term, and this is working on the assumption that you have access to the full ClickFunnels suite. If not, you wouldn't need SendGrid, you would plug in your own autoresponder system, which is either Aweber or GetResponse or whatever, and I'll give you some access to some trial links so you can check these things out. So it's a very simple process. Today you're going to learn how to turn your idea into lead generation, how to make things come to life in ClickFunnels, how to email your new subscribers, and the next steps for your new list. So lots and lots of different things we're going to cover. As I said, take notes. We will go through this at quite a fast pace to try and fit everything in, but I'm confident by the end of this video that you will have a good view and a vision of how funnels will work for you and your business. So we will switch over to the computer, switch over to ClickFunnels, and we will get stuck in straight away. Okay, so here we are inside of ClickFunnels. This is the full suite, which is $297 a month, and from 20 years of doing things online, this is probably the most valuable $297 a month, which is about £200 in the UK. That's the most valuable amount of money I spend on my business each month, and the hashtag ClickFunnels pays the bills that I have dotted around the place is very, very true, because literally ClickFunnels does and can and will pay the bills if you do this right. Regardless, ClickFunnels is still only a tool, and it is a means to an end. It is not the be-all and end-all of your business. It is not something that you should be focusing 100% of your time on. This is the means to the end. This is the tool. This is something that will allow you to create the things you need to get leads or make money or sell products or do webinars or whatever it is that you are planning on doing. It is not something that will make money on its own. You can't just register an account and accept, that money's going to flow through the bank account. What you've got to do is work for this. You've got to have the good idea, and you've got to have the strategy and structure in place that will underpin everything that you're doing. And those of you who've worked with me know that I operate on 3 very simple principles. The first principle being that technology must work, and ClickFunnels goes a long way to help you when it comes to making technology work. WordPress, all of the different plugins and builders and things out there are good. They work to a point, but at some stage you will have to install an extra thing or update something or buy a plugin or update or do something that will cost you additional money and will frustrate you and will take a lot more time than what is possible with ClickFunnels. So the way this works, and I'll give you a little bit of a tour, is you log in, and this is what you're presented with when you log in. So across the top we've got funnels, and we can browse our funnels, which is the page you see here, and you've got all the different funnels that are in the account. So you can see lots and lots of different funnels doing lots and lots of different things. You can have unlimited funnels with the full suite or 20 funnels with the $97 a month plan. Across the top, we've got Actionetics, which is part of the full suite and is basically my email autoresponder. So we've got lists, broadcasts, action funnels, which are very, very cool. And you can manage contacts in quite an exciting way. Now, this account, I'm in the process of moving my contacts from other autoresponder lists and building up a brand new set of lists in here, and you'll see about that in a little while. Across the top two, we've got Backpack, which is an affiliate scheme, so you can invite people to share your links and earn commission. So if you, for example, create a product and it's selling well, you can create an affiliate area within that funnel and invite people to sign up, create their own custom link, and use that link to generate sales, at which point you will pay them a commission. Fantastic, and more or less covers the three main things you need when selling anything online, as long as the principles are in place. So the first one, technology works. Everything integrates, everything's seamless. Second one is you get the right people into your funnel and you have the right offers and you work these people in the right way. So this is where Actionetics will come in as well. And the third principle is that you must build relationships with people. Again, the email sequences, we can send text messages, we can do things based on behavior. There is lots of benefits of using this full suite because it will help you build that relationship with your subscribers from the outset. So 3 simple sections across the top, and then under account you've got the usual things. You've got the your name and billing details and things like that, but you've also got some very cool features. You've got integrations, which allows you to connect through the API of things like Aweber and GetResponse and different autoresponders. You can bring in text messaging services, you can integrate with webinar platforms, you can integrate with a whole range of softwares and services. On the top of that, there's also a thing called Zapier or Zapier, depending on how you say it, and that allows you then to connect with a whole manner of third-party services as well. So you can actually, for example, export sales and contacts into a Google Sheet. So you can use that for fulfillment of orders and different things. Lots and lots and lots of ways you can get your data from ClickFunnels into different CRM systems or sales systems. Whatever you're using, the chances are ClickFunnels will integrate. Fantastic. Custom domains, again, you can connect up any domain that you've purchased, and you connect these through Cloudflare, which is a third-party free-to-use service which redirects your web traffic to ClickFunnels and allows you to use your domain or domains on any funnel that you create. You've got digital assets, which is a place to upload PDF files and documents and things that you want to distribute when people give you their email addresses. You can create templates from pages and call these back and use these in different funnels. Connect up your own email service. I mentioned SendGrid, that's the one that I use. This allows you to send up to 40,000 individual emails to unlimited contacts for about $10 a month, which is fantastic. Payment gateways. There is a whole manner of different payment gateways that you can use within ClickFunnels, and this appeals to everybody. So affiliate marketers, you can run your own Stripe account, you can run it through Infusionsoft, ClickBank, Ontraport, even Braintree, which is a PayPal company, which allows a difference between PayPal or credit card payments, which is really, really good. And this gives the flexibility that you need, or I need, or anybody really needs to make and take the money online. You've got an affiliate area, so you can sign people up to ClickFunnels under your link and earn 40% recurring commission. And there's a few other bits and pieces, obviously, you can log out. And then I must say, we've got a very comprehensive support department and live support from guys on chat, so you can actually chat to the ClickFunnels support team more or less around the clock, and they will answer any little niggly problems that are causing you issues in your account. So lots of things going on, but very, very well laid out and very, very simple and accessible, easy to understand, and every single element comes with its own tutorial. So I'm not going to go into the exact mechanics of some of these things, but as we cover them in the funnel, in the building in a second, we will refer back to the key elements. So there is probably a lot more that you can do and that you will be able to see than what I can show you right here, but with the understanding that everything is very, very simple and very, very intuitive. Okay, so the first thing you will probably want to do when you enter ClickFunnels is create your first funnel. There are a few things you need to do before you create a funnel. For example, connect up domains, and maybe you want to set up your payment gateway as well. So you've got the ability to take payments and run your funnels through the domain, as opposed to something which will have .clickfunnels.com. So once you've set up your domain and your payment gateway and you're happy that all of your integrations, for example your autoresponder, are set up and in place, or of course if you have used Actionetics and the full suite, that you have your SMTP settings, i.e. SendGrid or SendLane or whichever service you want to use, integrated. So there are a few housekeeping jobs before you get going, and I'm able to help you with those, or there are other videos that I've produced as well. One thing for sure is ClickFunnels don't leave you on your own, and there are tutorials for every single step that are very easily accessible and easy to get to. So bearing in mind that you've done these things and everything's in place and you're happy, you're good to go, you're in a position to add a new funnel. Now the good thing with ClickFunnels is that it comes with a lot of templates that are already built in, and when you see these templates you'll see that they far outstrip any of the other services that are out there. Indeed, there are other landing page builders and other page builders and other shopping carts and other autoresponders, and to be honest, everything has its own merit. You can glue together many services to create one service. ClickFunnels kind of brings in the best of all of these things and cuts out the stuff that people generally don't use. So Infusionsoft users might only be using 10 to 20% of the product's capability and be happy with that, but pay the big price. ClickFunnels kind of incorporates the best features that you use more often into Actionetics, but will miss out some of the more advanced functionality. So you do have to weigh these things up. In balance, ClickFunnels far exceeds my expectations of all of these programs, and is something that very quickly, as you're going to see now, you're able to create pages, funnels, sequences, follow-ups, emails, retargeting, and all of the things that you need to actually take something to market in the shortest possible time. So the benefits are, immense using ClickFunnels. So here we go, we've clicked create a new funnel, and you can collect emails, sell a product, host a webinar, and if you choose any of these, there are a bunch of ready-made sequences or funnel steps that you can have in place. So the easiest one to think about is collecting emails. So we'll choose that and we'll call this test 1, and you can group your funnels, so you can put these in different categories. So you've got all sorts of different categories that you can use. So we can put this in under my name or whatever, and you build your funnel, and you will notice then when you go to press build funnel that ClickFunnels has already created the steps, email landing page, and a thank you or download page. So when this next section loads, you will see that you have got the 2 steps in your funnel, and the traffic you drive to this link at the top. So the first thing you want to do immediately after creating a new funnel is go to settings across the top, and you're in a position then to create or set up this first step. So the first thing to do is choose a domain. So we can use my name and my domain, which is just, you choose any domain. You can have as many domains as you want integrated within ClickFunnels, and you just choose one from the drop down, and then you set the path. Now the path is very important, and this is something that they don't generally teach you in the hey, let's build a funnel in 10 minutes video. Well, this is one of the problems that I help people overcome day in, day out. This is one of the sticking points, because if you have got this stuff at the end of your URL at the top, so you will have, in this case, dannywalsh.co.uk /test-1ZKIVWP 7.6. To somebody looking at that page who takes note of the URL at the top, that to me doesn't look like it's a very safe or sensible website to be visiting. So changing this is very important. So the first URL is this one, which you do obviously in the settings. You would make this something very broad, like an overarching name for the funnel. This is the URL that you send your traffic to. So when you're running your ads, this URL up here, which you're now going to set, is the one where you send the traffic. So we will call this test funnel, but this may be welcome page or home or offer or whatever you choose to put in there. Once you've done that, you'll notice you can actually put a link to your little favy, which is the ClickFunnels thing you can see up at the top left here on the tab. So when you've got tabs open, the little icon, the favicon, appears at the top. Now this is always defaulted to ClickFunnels, so if you do want to personalize your site, you need to put the URL in there to wherever your little favy lives. You can set up your SMTP, which is your email service. In this case I use SendGrid, so that's already in there. And in these different boxes you can include your tracking code. So for example, if you take a Google Analytics code or a Facebook pixel to build an audience, or retargeting pixel, you can drop those codes in the relevant boxes. Now, depending on what you're using, each service will require that it either goes between the head tags or the body tags, and everything will come with instructions. For example, Google, you just drop it in the head and that will track the visitors across every single page of your funnel. That's very, very important, because unless you know where your visitors are coming from or where they're going or how they behave while they're in your funnel, then you're going to have problems when it comes to analysing data later down the line. So you fill these bits in first in the settings, and once you're happy with that, you'll go down and you'll see there's some other bits and pieces. You can have test mode for Stripe, so you can do test payments, integrate different bits and pieces. If you're using Backpack, you can set up your affiliate commissions. Zapier is one of the coolest things because you can integrate, for example, when people fill in a form, it will put that data into a Google Sheet, so it's almost in a spreadsheet ready for processing or fulfillment, whatever you need to do. And there's all sorts of third-party membership access options for JVZoo and different bits and pieces, PayPal products, so you can track payments received in these other services in ClickFunnels. So there's a whole heap of tutorials and different things, but the principles are: create a new funnel, arrive at the first page, go to settings, set up the domain for the main URL, put in your tracking codes, and if you get into the habit of doing that, that's kind of like a ritual every single time you create a funnel. It's done then. Save and update the settings. I'm not going to put the Google code in, I'm not going to drop anything in for the sake of time, but you just make sure that you do that and connect that up. Again, if you need any help, you can reach out. So you'll notice now that the URL at the top is ready to send traffic to. So the first part that you need to do then is decide what kind of funnel are you building. We're going to collect emails, so the logical sequence would be an opt-in page and a thank you page, and you can see ClickFunnels has already laid this stuff out at the top. So if you're doing a sales funnel, your sales page and launch pages and upsells and downsells and all of that stuff's under sales. Webinar, you can have registration, thank you, and broadcast for live stuff. Auto webinar, again, slightly different templates with different functionality. Excuse me. And membership stuff, you can create members areas, you can create membership access pages. Affiliate stuff, if you're using Backpack. Click pops can be like a pop-up that will appear off a WordPress site or somewhere else on the web, and there's a bunch of miscellaneous different bits and pieces, blog templates, all sorts of things, 404 pages, anything you can imagine really you can build anywhere. And the notion of funnel hacking that the ClickFunnels guys, Russell Brunson, etc. talk about is something where you can go and you can find a website that's performing well, you can then hack or copy or model, to use the right language, any design using ClickFunnels, and these templates will already be there to give you some inspiration. So we're going for an opt-in. We want an email opt-in for this first step. You can see the two steps, so when somebody moves from this step, they'll naturally progress down through the funnel. So we're going to choose a template, and you can see there are lots and lots and lots and lots. Some of these have been collected from the ClickFunnels group. People have given these things away for free. Some of these are the ones that were already installed. The majority, all of these come with ClickFunnels, so you've got plenty of inspiration to get you started, and all of these convert well. I've used a lot of these, tested a lot of these. You can't really go wrong. This one performs really well, the green one, and you just have to literally choose one and change a few words. Here's one that I've done for an affiliate product launch. I was doing something around Shopify, and there's bonuses and different things. Really easy to use, all simple and high converting, like I say, and they're up here for a reason, to help you get started. Now once you get more advanced, you can come down and you can use the blank template, and you can pretty much start from scratch. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to choose a blank template, and once you select the one that you want to use, you will see that the editor screen appears, and you'll get some warnings down here. So this is saying finish up all the setting up all the funnel steps, and this is saying your page was created. So keep your eye on these little notifications. Now you will notice that I set the URL at the top for dannywalsh.co.uk/test-funnel, but you'll notice now that this URL belongs to the individual step. So this is a clever way that ClickFunnels have devised. This system means that you can reorder the steps in the funnel without having to change this link in your ads, and that's a very, very important concept for you to understand. This link is the main link you send the traffic to, but each step has got its own URL, so we have to kind of go through the motions a little bit more just to tidy up the URLs to make sure that everything is on the domain, and that is pretty much why you're getting this red warning at the bottom right. So the first step again becomes kind of like part of the routine, if you would. So you come in here, you can name these steps different things, so you can personalize them as well. I'm happy with opt-in at this point. I'm going to choose my domain, Danny Walsh, and because we call this test funnel, I'm going to call this test funnel page. So when people type in /test funnel, the URL will just change to this test funnel page, or maybe test funnel welcome page to make it a little bit more personal, like I said. So if somebody does notice the URL and it says welcome, it's less obtrusive and less likely to cause alarm and make people leave the site. So we've got an opt-in on this URL now, but we always send our traffic to this one at the top. So we've done that. Update the step, and you will see that we get the URL here. Now ClickFunnels goes a further step in that you can run a variation of the same page. So you can create a variation and maybe change the headline or change the picture or put the video in a different place to see which one converts the best. So when people land on this URL, ClickFunnels then sends them to the first URL in the order, in the funnel order, and then that will then alternate or swap between the two variations or three variations, and will gradually share your traffic between these two pages. So of course these pages need a URL as well, and so by clicking the little cog, you'll see you've not actually given this variation a domain, and that's what the warning was about. And if you don't do this, ClickFunnels will end up changing the link at the top back to the default clickfunnels.com, and that again can cause problems because people will think that they're being misled, and that's been tested. So coming down here and making sure that you set this up properly is very important. So we called it test funnel welcome page, and I just put V1 for variation 1, and on the other one I would make it V2 if I had a different variation, you see. So we update the page now, and we know that whenever we send someone to traffic at this link, they will end up actually seeing either this one or the other one if you've created a variation. So we can test that theory by clicking here, and you'll see that it's gone to test funnel, and then it went to welcome page, and then it went to welcome page v1, and that is actually moving through the 3 URLs, and that's really important. And that might be a little bit long-winded, but if you can grasp that from the outset, then by rights, when you create, for example, if we get rid of the thank you step, now it should remember the URLs. So when we go to add a new step, thank you, it's already remembered the domain, and we'll call this test funnel thank you page. Create the step, and it saves you time if you do it at the beginning. Otherwise, you go back through every single step and you have to update all of the URLs. So in this case, we want the thank you, and you'll see there's some ready thank you pages. Some have got comments and some are just simple. Some have got like step 1, step 2, step 3. We just want something that's dead simple, so we'll select this one, and you will see then, because we've already named it with our domain set up in the main settings in the previous step, that the domain and everything is already in place. The only thing I choose to do is add the v1 to the end of this, and sometimes you can see that it might not do it, so it's always worth just going through and just double checking at the bottom, but 9 times out of 10 it will carry the domain through. So this is going to be test funnel thank you page and the v1 at the end. Update, and now the funnel is structured, ready to go. So I guess you want to run some Facebook ads to this. The thing you might want to be doing while you're setting things up is just grabbing the Facebook pixel from your account, changing the little FBQ track part to say lead, and then come to your thank you page into the editor. For the first time, you're going into the editor now as well. Don't worry about designing anything, but just grab that pixel tracking code for lead, bring it into the editor, come up to settings, go into tracking codes and paste that into this box at the bottom, and it even says add Facebook pixel here. So that means that when people land on this page after they've opted in, that pixel from your Facebook ad will record a lead, and that way you can track leads. So that's like a quick tip for this point in setting up the funnel. And equally, if you have any other tracking codes and different things that need to go on the thank you page, you might as well just drop those in now, and then the rest of it you can pretty much do in ClickFunnels. So just to wheel up and summarize, we've arrived at the ClickFunnels dashboard. We understand all of the functions at the top. We've set up all of our integrations and different things. We've come in and we've created our first funnel, so we chose to collect emails. We've built an opt-in funnel. We went up to settings and configured the domain and set up the tracking and analytics and any other codes we wanted to drop in there. We configured the individual step URL and the same for the variation, and we did that on the opt-in on the first step, and then we removed the thank you page and replaced it, meaning that the URLs and everything were all set up for us, and here we are in a position now to build our very first opt-in page, which can be as simple or as elaborate as you want, but you're in a position now where you can come to the opt-in step and you can begin to build. So you'll notice, you see that there's visitors being recorded as well, which is pretty cool. You're in a good position to begin the building process. So you press edit page, and you'll see that you get the blank starter template, and this is true of all of the templates in ClickFunnels. The standard blank, you'll just get this. What you have to take note of is the pop-up. At this point everything's blank. Sometimes you can get reasonably clean templates that have got quite a complicated pop-up. You also want to come up to settings as soon as you land in the template, and you want to go through the different things up here. It's quite simple. Meta tags at the moment say my awesome landing page powered by clickfunnels.com, and that is what you will see unless you change it. So this is test funnel page some description, and then you can have different keywords depending on what you're doing. Put your name or whatever name, company name, and pick an image that will go with it on social media. So we'll pick this one because it's some kind of social media image that looks cool. And once you've filled that stuff in, you can press save. You'll notice that these notices disappear in the bottom right. So once you've updated your meta tags, you'll see that there's no warnings or anything, so you can go back from there. You can choose whether you want an affiliate badge on there. If you do, you get paid 40% for any sign-ups. Most people turn that off, and you can turn that off globally as well in the main account settings. Digital assets, if you want to email somebody a file after they opt in, you can set this up here and configure it in the digital assets under account settings, where you can upload a PDF. So when they opt in, they'll receive the PDF or whatever file it is. Background settings, you can set an entire background for the whole page. So we can come down here and there's even backgrounds already built in. Look, there's lots of cool backgrounds that you can use, whether solid colors or things with like squares and triangles in them, or you've got some more photos and different things. So for example, we could choose, and I'll choose this one and add the image, and you'll see that it puts the background across the whole page. So you can choose to do that or not, and you can mess around with whether it fills the full page or it's full center. You can even have a video from YouTube in the background, so that's pretty cool. You can go back from there. Fonts, you can choose a global font for the whole page, so you're not having to continually change different things. Tracking codes, again, you can put different sorts of pixels, bearing in mind that if this is the first page that people land on, it would be the next page, i.e. the thank you page, where you would track the action. But again, you've got that flexibility. You can do custom style sheets if you like. You can hide it from search engines, and you can save as a template. Now, if you save something as a template, it will only work with, for example, this is an opt-in template, so you will only be able to call that back when you're building on an opt-in template. You won't be able to use it on a sales page or an OTO page. Bear that in mind. They are bringing out a new editor quite soon, which everybody's excited about, and in doing so, I think that functionality and that problem will be overcome. So we're looking forward to that. But for now, if you save an opt-in template, remember that you can only use it on another opt-in page. So go through the settings. Once that's done, it's done. You're then in a position to say, well, obviously people are going to opt in to this page. They are going to give us their email address. We need to integrate with an autoresponder, and there are two ways to do that. You can integrate here, and as you can see, you've got access to GetResponse, Actionetics, other services that you've integrated that might not be email related. So in this case, you could use GetResponse, or you can actually drop an HTML form into there. So if you've got your own form, but in an ideal world, you'll be using Actionetics, and you set that up in the actual funnel settings. So in this case, I'm not connecting any autoresponder. I'm going to do that through the automations tab on the funnel, which I can show you in a sec. But for now, you may want to, for example, use your GetResponse or Aweber or MailChimp or whichever service that you're using. So bear that in mind. Then the rest of the bits and pieces down here, save button, preview, exit to take you back to where you would set this stuff up, and the other bits are to do with editing. So we are in a position to build. We've dropped the background in. We understand the settings and the email and everything down the right hand side. Everything's sort of set and configured. So, you know, your headline or call to action, you can then, as you can see, type this up on the screen, and then you can sort of highlight sections, make sections bold, underline, you know, make sections just normal, so you have bold and normal, and then you'll notice the way this works. So you've got things you can dive in there and type straight away, but you have to kind of understand the mechanics a little bit. So if you notice, as I move the mouse, there are three different colors of box or area or little surrounding area that you can see. So there's the orange, which is here, and this surrounds the individual elements like text or video. Then there is the blue, and this contains columns, and then there are the green, which are the main sections. So as you can see, everything's built on sections. So for example, you can move your sections up and down on top of each other. There are settings for your sections. Everything's got settings. You can clone or you can delete. So for example, we can clone this top section, and you'll notice now we've got sales and copy and opt-in, and sales and copy and opt-in clone, and you can rename these things. So the first thing to think about is how are you going to structure the page. So generally you could think about having a top, a middle, and the bottom. So let's clone this again. So we've ended up with 3 sections, one on top of the other, right? In the middle of each section we've got these rows, and we can remove these in their entirety, and you can see it just defaults back to add new row within the section. So on this page now we've got 3 sections on top of each other, and in there we've got a big button that says add a new row. So as you can see, when you press that, you get the option to add these rows, these blocks. So at the top we're going to have a 2-column block, add to page, and you can see now that's split, and you can actually move the divider to give you more or less room on one side or another. In the middle section I'm going to have another 2-column, and at the bottom I'm just going to have a single row. So this is how we've structured the page, and the next thing we need to think about is where on the page do we want these things to be positioned. So every single section, block or row or element has got its own settings. So if you click any of these little cogs, it will always open a settings panel on the right hand side. So the first thing you can see is how wide do you want it to be. So the one at the top I want to make full page, and I'm going to make the background, just for the sake of the demo, I'm going to make it yellow. And at the bottom here you can see you've got this slider, so you can actually adjust the opacity or how see-through or transparent that row is. So can you see at the top the section is changing colour as I move the slider? So that's going to be this solid yellow, and I don't quite like that colour, so we'll mess around a little bit till we get the right colour. And right, that one will do for now. So we've got this like orange section at the top. Great. What else can we do? We can have a background image if we like, and we can have the position. And is it going to stick to the top so that that will never move if people scroll? Have a look down. We've got padding, so let's make some bigger padding. Oh, that's 130 at the top, 130 at the bottom. You can see how the padding works. You can also pad it left to right. That kind of messes up the layout. So leaving these things as they are is an option, or in this case I'm actually going to remove all of the padding so that the bar is kind of small at the top. Have a look further down, you can adjust the radius, that means are the corners rounded, the borders, style size, is there going to be shadow, so let's put some shadow on it. Hopefully by now you can see that this is not exactly difficult. Once you understand how to structure a page, you can quite quickly do these things. So going down the list, do you want this thing to be animated? Do you want it to pop up when the page loads? Do you want it to appear after a fixed period of time? There's all of these different options, and there's some advanced stuff at the bottom as well that I recommend you don't touch. So you can do what you want. You can create the background, the image, and set the padding to make it fit where you want. And then there's always the one that gets used the most, which is margin, and this means you can put space between the top of the page or the row or section above or whatever it is between you, so you can create this margin which allows you to push things down the page. So for this one I want it flush to the top, but the other ones I'm going to bring them down a bit. So I'm happy with that row now, that section should I say, the green section, all across the top, one solid bar. So I'm coming down to this section, and now what I'm going to do is go through the motions again. So we've got a wide section. I'm going to make the background like a grey colour. As you can see, we're not going to make it sticky, we're going to leave the padding, we're going to give it say 30 margin, maybe we'll make it 50 margin so it bumps it down a little bit further. We're going to make the radius 10 and all the edges, and we're going to give it a full solid border of 5 pixels with a black outline. and we're going to scroll down and we're going to give it some shadow, and we'll leave all the rest of it, so I'm happy with that. And then we're coming down to the bottom section here. We're just going to click the little cog. I'm going to make that full page. I'm going to leave the top padding, reduce the bottom padding slightly. I'm going to come down. There's not going to be any border or anything on this. The only thing I want to do is increase the margin at the top to say 30, and then I'm in a position to build. I don't like the colour on this, the grey, so I'm just going to go back and make that a little bit less obtrusive and make it a little bit see-through. And I've done that little bit of work in probably 5 minutes. I'm just going to press save, and now that that's done, we're in a position to add elements and get this show on the road. So the first thing I want to do up here is add an image, and I'm just going to press the thing in the middle there. So it says add a new element. You press this and you've got all sorts of different things that you can include. So the social shares, text, images, different things. I'm getting an image and add that to page, and you can see straight away you get a default image, just like the sections and the actual rows. You can click on any element and you can then choose your image. So in this instance we were going to choose a logo. So we can go through and you can see there's loads and loads and loads of different things that you've got in there, and there's actually an image search function. So for example, if this was the logo, we'll choose this logo and we'd add that up there, and then you can choose a height. So we'll make this like 120 pixels high, and we'll align that to the left. So that's kind of the logo on the screen. And then you think, right, well, we've got that, and then do we want to have anything over at this side, or perhaps the logo needs to be a bit smaller, so we'll make that 85. Keep the bar up at the top. Do we want to put something at this side so we can add some text? So we can put call now instead, because if you get people on the phone, it doesn't really matter because you can sell them stuff. Whatever you want to do, or you know, or the latest thing, whatever you want to put. The point is you can drag and drop these things, and when you click on them you can have the margin and different things, the size, the colour, whether the bold is a different colour to the text. All of these little things are available just by clicking and accessing this side panel. So we don't need to dwell too much on exactly what we should be writing or typing. We just kind of make this up as we go. What I want to dwell on is the fact that everything you have available has got its own little cog, so things can be quite quickly changed, and we think, right, well, maybe we don't want that, maybe we want something a little bit more refined. You can put your own images in, you can drop your own book covers and headshots, all different sorts of things that you've got available to you for all manner of permutations. Really, you can do whatever you want to be. If you want to be a fishing coach for the day, let's add a fishing coach logo. So there you go. So we'll be a fishing coach, and you know, sign up to catch more fish. So that's kind of what we're doing. We want fish to come and bite on our bait. So if fishermen want to see this, then they sign up to catch more fish. So now we need a way for them to sign up. We've structured the page in a nice way, so let's put a video here. There we go, there's a video. So on this video I'm going to go away now and record 2 minutes, 3 minutes saying how by signing up on this page they are going to catch more fish, and then I'll click the element just like we do with everything, and we can either embed it, or we can just get the YouTube or Vimeo or Wistia or whatever the services are that you use. Easy Video Suite integrates all of these different things. YouTube's the most common, and then you can choose to autoplay, and you can choose to have width and size and different things, white skin or black skin or red skin, doesn't matter what colour the skin, you know. You've got to choose what's best for you and for your job at the time. So in this case I'm going to go for the simple shadow. You can choose whether that pops up after a few minutes or seconds and whether it's triggered. But how simple is that, just to be able to click an element, drop that in, and then say, right, well, we've put a video in, we've got that on YouTube, we've dropped the URL, let's go here, let's add the actual form. So we can put a headline, sign up here, and then under this, if you notice now, you get the plus, so you can see the orange bits of the actual text, the videos, the you know, forms and all different things. So under here we can press the plus, and then we can add the next thing. So I'm going to put a little bit of tiny text under here, and this is going to use the text editor, which is pretty cool, dead simple to use. Sign up and catch more fish, 100% free, and we're going to make that center. So that's that. We've got that there, nice. And then under here we'll press the plus again, and we're going to do input form. And again, we can click the element and we can go through here. We'll give it a bit more margin, so we'll make that 16 margins there. Input type is going to be first name, so enter your first name if we can type, and how big you want the text to be. Is it required? Well, yes, because we want them to give it to us. Submit on enter, you could just leave that as it is. The style, there's a few different styles, and with the new editor you get the whole heap of new styles, I believe, so that's something we're all looking forward to. But for now, you can choose from 6 or 7 little styles. I like the professional one. Choose whatever you like, simple, whichever one you want. How heavy the font needs to be, the corners, are they rounded, background colour, whether you want an icon, so it's a name, so we'll choose a name icon. And that's pretty much it. So you've done that one, and you can see there's the name icon and there's the text that you've put, and that's first name. You know that what it is, you're ready to go. So all we do is clone this, we go in here and we say email address, we change this bit of text like this, email here, we go down here and change up the icon, press save again just in case we lose everything at this stage, which is the power goes or something. But for now you've got name and email, and then all we need is a button. So come down here and press plus, press button, add to page. And the way ClickFunnels works is really cool. You get these little hashtags, these little short codes. So what we want this to do when we press the button is submit the form. That's it, done. You don't have to mess around with plugins, code or anything, and you can come down here and again you can style your button. I like that one, or the lighter border one. You want to make it full width, you can. You can have as well another little bit of text. We respect your privacy or whatever, and you can change the colour obviously to whatever colour you choose. Stick with the blue perhaps, but you can change the colour, you can do what you want. Again, I'm going to make this bigger just by upping the text size, so it kind of goes nicely in line with the bottom of the video. I'll probably put 1 or 2 extra bits of margin at the top of this. I'll probably do 15, so it's kind of like that. You kind of get in there. I don't like the colour, but that's just, you know, your own sort of thinking. Maybe we should have gone with the kind of like that. You know, there's different ways you can modify the page. As you can see, you just got to click around and press things and click things, and just that's why it's called ClickFunnels. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about getting a structure in place where you're comfortable and you know these things are working. And if you start from the templates that are provided, you're pretty much good to go in only a few minutes. But this is like building from scratch quite quickly, quite easily, and once you know what you're doing, you can turn these pages round in a matter of minutes. So maybe we dull down the colour at the top, or we change it to something a bit more striking, whatever you want to do. It's all click, drag, drop, save, and that pretty much would now work. That is it. Obviously you've got to record a good video, obviously you're going to put a nice background, you're going to have the right logo, you're going to mess around with the margins, and you're going to think, well, is that a little bit low or a little bit high? But for all intents and purposes, you could run traffic to this page now and it would collect leads for you straight into ClickFunnels. And this is the power of this system, because really in 5 or 10 minutes we've developed a simple opt-in page. And just down at the bottom I'm just going to put, you know, a little bit of text, and we can align that to the left, and we can put you know, copyright, catch more fish, and we can make that to a smaller size and just give things a little bit. You put terms and conditions, you can have links in there, whatever you want, just give it a bit of credibility on your page, maybe centralize that, I guess. You know, it's just about your designer's eye, but once you're happy with your layout of your page, you can preview that and obviously enjoy the rewards of what you just created. And I know I could send fishermen to this page with a nice video on it, and they would opt in, sign up, join my mailing list, and we've done that in minutes, whereas this would cost you generally thousands and take a long time to do. So there are other elements to it in terms of the branding and the logo and all of the things. Obviously videos don't happen overnight, but with the power of ClickFunnels, you're in a position to do this stuff a lot faster and a lot more efficiently than what you would ever be able to do in the past. And your branding and your logos and your structure and layout, and save these things as templates, quite quickly you can build and scale your business, and you can turn out landing pages and opt-ins for many different types of lead magnets. So that is in a nutshell the editor, and as long as you go through these settings and make sure you've integrated your email, that form works. So that's done. So all we need to do now is exit, and like I said, I'm using Actionetics, so I use the built-in Actionetics system, and in there I've got email lists. So all I do here is go to automation, and you'll notice there's like events that you can trigger, but we add a new action, add to list, anyone, ClickFunnels internal, add to list, and you just choose your list from here. So we'll add them to the carp fishing list. So let's add them to a website consultees list, whichever list you want to add them to. I'll add them to that for the sake and purposes of what I'm doing, so I don't muddle up my lists. But create the funnel action, and now anybody that opts in goes to that list, and he could have, you know, send these people a text. And if you go to publishing across the top as well on the individual steps, you'll notice where you set the URL and stuff before, you can get a ClickPop code, you can get the HTML, WordPress plugin will work with this, embed code, you can even add it to a Facebook tab. So this page could now be working for you in Facebook. So think about this, when you run a like campaign in Facebook, in the Power Editor, you can choose where you want people to land after they press like, and one of those places could be your tab that you've built in ClickFunnels, and because it's ClickFunnels, the SSL certificate is taken care of, so it will work, and people basically see your ad, press like on your page, land on your opt-in page that says, hey, catch more fish, enter your name and email, and all of that is done within Facebook, which will be cheaper and will be really effective. You could have that set up in the time, you know, it's taken us to record this video. I'm doing this live. I've not stopped and started. This is one take, live as it comes. So you can do this stuff too. It's not difficult. And these extra bits will allow you to make something really, really creative. So just back to the funnel opt-in page overview, we are now in a position where you can see the page that we've created, however it's chose to display it, because I think we moved the bars at the top before it's remembered, but don't worry about it. You'll see whatever you've designed in this place. You can preview it like we did before, and as you can see, it's working fine on the preview, you know what I mean, so don't worry about things like that. That's great. So we can come back to ClickFunnels. Like this, and we are ready to sort out the thank you page. So for all intents and purposes, in 20 minutes or so, we've come in, we've configured, we've got everything set up, we've created an opt-in page that just works, and in my case I've connected it to Actionetics, but you remember in the other instance you would connect up your autoresponder from within the editor. So everything's set, everything's good to go, and now we're going to sort out the thank you page, and for all intents and purposes we're going to use the one that ClickFunnels has provided. You can of course model your own thank you pages, but for the sake of time and the fact that you are itching to go out and build your first funnel, we will use one of the ClickFunnels ones. So already we've set up the URL before, and we went in and dumped in the tracking code, if you remember, even though we didn't actually put it in, but that was just a useful thing to do at that point. So now we can go into the editor and we can just think about making this work. So we went for the carp fishing coaching thing, didn't we, before? So we can add our logo again. We may want to, like I say, darken up or lighten up some of the bars at the top. Thank you for signing up works for me. We just sent you an email confirmation, and obviously you would set up your email sequence in Actionetics or in GetResponse or whichever service you're using, and I cover that in other videos. So assuming that people have got an email from you, you've got this thing set up, you would then be emailing these people, that's the whole point, with your sequence. Again, I cover this in other videos, and we can cover this on a call, but you would email and keep these people interested in your business and send them offers and different things, and obviously engage them and build up the trust and a relationship and become, you know, a customer for life with any luck. And the principles that I discussed before is technology must work, and you must get the right people into your funnel, and you must build relationships. They're the kind of three principles that I hang all this stuff on, and it works really well. So by emailing people now that they've signed up, you're obviously nurturing a relationship, and you're in an ability to sell products to them. So all of this text looks good. Of course, you can modify things and you can adjust margins and heights and different things. You might want to put a different image on there, so we'll put a picture of a big fish. Step 1, step 2, step 3, that's fine, and we can just adjust at the bottom. We'll just put my name and get rid of this stuff. And again, just go through the settings. Meta tags you want to change, thank you, and I'm just going to paste that up in there. We don't worry about that. We'll just put your name in and give it a picture. This means if people share this stuff on social media, that picture would appear and these words would appear, and Facebook will remember that the first time you share it. So make sure you set it up and get it right. You don't need to integrate email to this page because they've already been captured. The settings are pretty much done. If you want to do a background or you want to do any of this CSS or anything like that, you can do. Affiliate badge if you want to. Again, press save, the warning will disappear, and you've built your first funnel. And that's a funnel including the technical bits about URLs and tracking and targeting codes in 1 hour. So imagine what you can do when you start thinking about adding products and adding, you know, sales pages and upsells and different things like that. So at this point now, we can run traffic to this page, and we could get people to opt in, and we can send them an email sequence from Actionetics or whichever service you're using. I recommend Actionetics because it's all built in, and you can track your customers right here in the ClickFunnels dashboard, which is awesome. One thing that you could do on your thank you page, of course, is say, well, how about we have a button here that says get more from Danny Walsh, click here to get instant access, and then we could set that up as a URL to one of my other funnels, like that. Save. So for all intents and purposes now, obviously we've not put tracking code in, obviously we've not set up the retargeting and different things, and we've not actually configured the email service, even though I have connected a list that will send an email. When you look at this page, you should be able to opt in. So here we go, go to the top, here we go. So sign up, and I'll use my other email address. So we're gonna do this. And you land on the thank you page. So now your email address has been sent and everything's been captured, and we're in a position where we can find out more and redirect to wherever you want. And you'll see now you're on this, which will show up in analytics, and you can keep people moving through your funnel. So not only have you captured their email, you've now sent them to another page or another offer or something that will go further and bring them more into your business. So there's lots and lots of power with this system, and I hope that this tutorial has helped you to understand how to get going quite quickly. Of course, there are little technical things that you will run into, and of course you do need to create graphics, and you know you might not even have a logo to start with, but wherever you are, this platform will allow you to get things configured very, very smoothly and very quickly in a way that just works. And the fact that you can start from templates means that you can get up and running quite quickly. So go and have a look, and you can even go and check out the funnel. So it's dannywalsh.co.uk/test funnel. You're in a position to log into your account. If you need an account, you can find a link to it on this page as well. I'll put a link to it on this page where you opt in and go through, so you'll be able to get access to your ClickFunnels account from there. And around this video, no doubt there'll be a link to a ClickFunnels sign up page. So sign up, or if you're already a customer, get in there and create your first funnel and tell me all about it. You can send me an email, danny@walshmarketing.uk, or find me on Facebook or on Skype or wherever, and I look forward to seeing you soon.